Hey guys, Aaron here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I service a rear differential on a Ford F-150. It can be an 8.8, a 9 3/4, or 10 1/4 rear differential. They really don't vary as much as far as procedure goes. Now, this is something that is actually commonly overlooked, maintaining and servicing the rear differential, and it's really important that you do it every 30 to 60,000 miles, depending on if you tow and how hard you are on the vehicle. Now, the first thing before we begin anything, I like to remove the fill plug. Let's say if we get the cover off during the fluid and something happens to where we can't get this undone, our tool breaks, etc., we're going to be in a little bit of a bind. So I like to go ahead and remove this. Just a 3/8 ratchet will do. It's on there pretty good too. There we are. The back side of this plug does have a gasket, so make sure you wash it or just simply get it off just like that. Now, this particular vehicle is a 2015 with a 2.7 liter. However, the 3.5 EcoBoost and the 5.0, pretty much the same thing, minus you're going to see some wiring here. These do have the electronic rear locking emergency brakes, so there's just going to be some grommets that we have to do to pull off. So what you can actually do is just simply pull the wires off, and tuck the wires behind. Same thing with the wires for the calipers. Now, the ABS wires are tucked out of the way up on top. However, the wire for the caliper, what I actually like to do is tuck it underneath the differential. There's just enough there to get it out of the way. Once that's done, all we have to do is take this bracket for the brake line, bend it up a little bit. That'll give us plenty of clearance to take the cover off. Now, one special thing to note, the bolts are almost always 1/2 inch. They're not 13 millimeter, they're very close together, so if you're having an instance where a bolt's rounded off, get a 1/2 inch socket and you'll be able to remove them just fine. So alright, so I went ahead and got a little piece of metal that I flattened out and sharpened. Basically now what we're going to do is pry off the cover. It's on there really good. This gasket maker that Ford uses is pretty strong stuff, so make sure just not to mar the mating surface at all of both surfaces, the cover and the differential. And as you can see, I barely have it cracked here. You could use a hammer to kind of get in there and pry a little bit. But once it becomes cracked, all the fluid does come out, so make sure your drain pan is ready. I'm just going to continue here. There we go. Fluid is a little dirty, but nothing too serious. So at this point, we're just going to go ahead and allow the fluid to drain out completely. There's a ton of fluid that has been in your axle tubes, and it's all kind of gathering down. And what you'll see at the very bottom here is that there's actually a sump where there's a little bit of oil trapped. I like to go ahead and just kind of get as much out as you can. You could take a rag and try to absorb a little bit. You can see the metal shavings right there. That's black. Nothing too serious. It's normal wear and tear. Alright, now one little trick here. We definitely don't want any outside debris coming into our differential. So I like to take a rag and just put it over the ring itself and try to cover up any holes where silicone or dirt or anything like that would get in. Definitely want to keep this clean. Now I use a pneumatic tool with a roll-off disc to clean up all the mating surfaces for the new gasket material. If you don't have it, that's okay. You can use some kind of sandpaper or a knife to get it off, but I figure this is probably the quickest solution to getting this clean. Once our differential is nice and clean, it's now time to get the cover. Kind of the same deal here. Gonna find like kind of a lot of gunk in here. I like to take some degreaser or some brake cleaner and clean up all this black gunk. Yours might not be as bad as this particular vehicle. This vehicle does tow a lot. And then I'm going to do the same thing to this mating gasket as well, this mating surface as well, and then we're free to go ahead and put on our new gasket after that. Now it's pretty much the same procedure for the cover. As you can see, I got it nice and clean. What I like to use is just black Permatex. Gray works as well. This is some really good Permatex that's in an aerosol can, so you just squeeze the trigger and it comes right out, no problem. Now, one thing to know is that this stuff does dry pretty quick, and in colder climates it's going to be even quicker. With one continuous bead, go ahead and go around the entire mating surface of the cover. Alright, so just before we put the cover on, I like to make sure that this surface right here is oil free and free of any contaminants. We definitely want that gasket maker to form a good gasket and a good seal. We definitely don't want to be doing this twice, repairing a leak. So I like to take some brake cleaner. You can take some carb cleaner too, maybe some denatured or rubbing alcohol. That'll get rid of all the oil residue here. Line that up, kind of squish it on. What I like to do is get the bolts in and then put them down kind of finger tight, and then we'll go around and we'll torque them down to 25 foot-pounds just to ensure that they don't strip and they're not too loose. There we go. What I like to see before I go to torque them is that you have a nice bead of silicone around the whole surface. That's always a good sign. If you have excess, wipe it off. You don't want anything drooping down, but you want to see a good bead around the mating surface of this gasket. Now, 25 foot-pounds doesn't seem like a whole lot, but really not as lot is needed to seal this cover. Alright, now that we got them all torqued down, last thing to do, of course, is to put fluid in. Now that everything's torqued down and the gasket maker is setting, go ahead and put your wiring back in its original location. I'm going to give this gasket about 1 hour to set up. Should be plenty of time to dry. If you could do 2 hours or even overnight, that'd probably be best or better. And then we're going to be putting in 75-140 on the other side where the fill plug is. It used to be 75-90. Ford recommended you put in these differentials, but they changed it a couple years ago to 75-140. Now the key here is just to simply add the fluid until it comes out of the the level hole here. I'm just using a short piece of vacuum tubing or fuel tubing just to help kind of aim it in there. Alright, so there we have it. Fluid's coming out of the fill hole. That way we know it's full. Let's go and put our plug back in. Took just over 2.5 quarts. And there we have it. So I hope this video has helped you guys out. If it has, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave something in the comment section. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.